Hi folks, Van Prepper here. Today I want to talk to you about headspace gauges and why they're important. I had never actually heard of these until I went to the Russian Mosin Nagant forum, and all the guys use them. Most of your new manufacturer rifles, this really isn't going to be a problem, but occasionally with the military surplus rifles it can be. And what headspace is it's the space between, when the bolt is closed, between the bolt and the round, the end of the round. And if the space is, if there's not enough space, the round can be punctured, I believe, can be punctured and come back. And if there's too much space, then the gases are going to be, you're going to have the gas is going to escape. The gases, especially on this corrosive ammo, but it applies in anything. So what I did was I ordered some Oki headspace gauges. I'll put a little note on this video for it. And I ordered the set that comes with the go, the no-go, and the field gauges. And when I talk about the extractor, let me just show you here. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do. The extractor is this little piece that juts out on the end of the bolt. This little piece that sticks out right there. That's the extractor. That pulls the case back from the fired shell. So the headspace gauge, the opening in the headspace gauge is going to go right over the extractor. So on the first gauge, the go gauge, the bolt should close without any extra pressure. It should just close comfortably with that in there. And I just put it in wrong, excuse me. It's actually much easier than I'm probably going to make it look here, because I'm a bit of a half-wit sometimes. It should go up nicely and just close down. No problem at all. Just as if you didn't have anything in there. And with the no-go gauge, so that tells us the go gauge measures the minimum acceptable headspace. So we know that it's got the minimum acceptable headspace. Now the no-go gauge is going to measure that it doesn't have excessive headspace. So we place that on the same way with the opening of the gauge going over the extractor, and then we slide close, and you don't close hard, just normally close it like you normally would. You don't want to fight with it because you could damage the gauge or damage your bolt. And what it is, or the rifle, is this doesn't go any farther than that. Just easily, you know, I could probably muscle it down, I don't know, but I'm not going to do that. That tells me that I have the first gauge it passed on tells me that it has the minimum headspace, and the second gauge it passed on tells me that it doesn't have too much headspace. So this is a safe rifle to fire. I've used this on all my Mosin Nagants. You order special headspace gauges for whatever caliber you have. I only have the headspace gauges for 7.62/54, but it sounds like you would never use these, but I know a guy on the forum, and then one of my friends just a few weeks ago encountered a rifle that the bolt worked fine when he bought it, but when he went to chamber around, it wouldn't chamber around. And then I brought my gauges over and we checked the headspace gauges on it, and the headspace gauges, he failed for minimum. He failed the go gauge, the first one. So had he tried to muscle that in and chambered around, he probably would have had a problem, and he might have got the bolt blown right back in his face. So check your headspace. I encourage anybody who's got Mosin Nagants, especially if you have a bunch of them, it's a good investment to invest in these headspace gauges. You can get them probably anywhere. I would recommend the Oki headspace gauges. That's what I have. Check them out. You can go to the Russian Mosin Nagant forum, I believe right on my homepage on my channel. There's a link for that. You can go there, and Oki headspace gauges, I believe, is a link right at the top of the Russian Mosin Nagant forum. So, you know, they've got their own banner because they're one of the sponsors for that. Great items to have. Feel much better now firing these, especially when I got the Type 53s, because those things, I had no clue. You don't know what those are going to be like, the way they're beat up. So check your headspace. Be safe. I'm Van Prepper. Happy shooting.